If you have children and you are no longer living with the other parent, then at that point in time, you would want to file child support. If you have custody of the children, you are entitled to support. You may also get child support if your income is less than the other parent, even in a 50-50. So some people think that when they have an equal amount of time with the children, that there is no child support and they pay on their time and the other parent pays on their time. And you can do that by agreement. But if you make less than the other parent, you do have the right to file for child support through the court. And going through the court system, the court will figure out child support based on the income of the parties. And you will get a credit if you're the payor if you have 50% of the time. So you'll get some deduction off of what you would pay if you didn't have that 50% of the time, but you may still be liable to pay. The support's retroactive to the date you file as long as the parties are living separately. So sometimes if you know that you're going to be moving out or the other party's moving out, you may file ahead of time and put down the date that they're going to be leaving, but the court will not enter a court order in place for child support until you're under two separate roofs. So you could do that, and then it'll be retroactive to the date that you're no longer living together. So it's important to get the child support filed as soon as possible after you're living separately because it is retroactive to the date of filing. There are some extenuating circumstances where you could prove that you couldn't file sooner for some reason. Maybe you were, in the hospital and weren't able to file. In that kind of situation, you can ask for it to be a little bit earlier, as long as you filed as soon as that condition's been removed. But it is based on, like I said, income of the parties. So what you're going to get in child support is going to differ than what somebody else might get in child support. It's also based on the number of children you have. So it's not equal for each child. The bulk is in the first child. And then, for each additional child, the court will have charts that they'll use to figure out what your child support will be. And that obligation is going to continue unless your child's disabled until age 18 or graduation from high school, whichever is later. You'll get notices from the court every 3 years that you have the right to modify the support if you haven't gone sooner, because you can modify your support anytime there's a change in circumstances. But generally, if you are the parent and you have custody of the children more than 50% of the time, you're the one that has the right to receive child support. If the party's paying you out of pocket directly, you may want to consult an attorney before you immediately go and file with the court, because an attorney will tell you what the court might anticipate you to receive. And in some cases, the other side may be paying you more than what you would get through the court. And you don't lose your right to file. So even if down the line that person who's been overpaying you decides to cut you off, you could always file in the future as long as your child is under 18 and hasn't graduated from high school. So keep that in mind. Don't immediately go file. Maybe have someone run the numbers for you if you're receiving any type of support from the other parent to make sure that it is beneficial for you to then go through the court system.